A quad gymnastics meet inside the Palestra this afternoon. Penn hosting Ursinus, Westchester, and Towson. Good afternoon, welcome in. My name is Sam Cooperman, that's Christina Chauvenet. And Christina, a lot of exciting gymnastics on tap this afternoon.
Well, this is the Sunday sporting event that Philadelphia fans have been waiting for, and I'm so excited to see. We've got a quad meet going on. 3 out of these 4 teams are coming off season highs, so it's going to be an exciting meet.
Well, a lot of these teams have seen each other a whole lot, too. A lot of familiarity up and down the Northeast.
Absolutely. And remember, as we move into mid and later part of the season, teams are really looking to get those road scores. So for these teams, they need to count 3 road scores towards postseason qualification. So it's a really important chance, particularly for those visiting teams.
Yeah, well, we're going to see Penn, Towson, Ursinus, and Westchester here on ESPN Plus's Rotation 1's about to get underway. So here we are back at the Palestra. Sam Cooperman, Christina Chauvenet with you. And Christina, we're getting a look all over the place. Those are the Westchester Golden Rams you see right there. And what do you think of the leotards to start things out? I really do like the color scheme.
Yeah, I really enjoy the colors. I love the purple. This might be my favorite leotard here.
Yeah, that certainly was one that we looked at before. And you mentioned it, Westchester's going to start there on the beam. And now we're looking at the Ursinus College Bears. They will open up on the floor, and Ursinus, a team that's coming off its high score when they had a duel last week, and their coach, Kim Valenti, used to be an assistant here at Penn, so this is a special place to her, and her group is looking to show what they can do.
Absolutely, and when we talked to her before the meet, she said, we're excited about starting on floor. It's a really high-energy place to start, really trying to take that momentum throughout the meet.
Yeah, so now that's a look at Ursinus. They'll have on floor to open up Kelsey Reese, and their back is Westchester as they get their touch warm-ups in. Opening up for Penn, they're going to be on the vault, and the Towson Tigers will start on bars. So, and there's a look at the Quakers. It looked like they didn't really debut what they were going to rock until just before. They kind of had their warm-ups on, so now we get a real glimpse of what they're going to be in today.
Absolutely, and it is senior day here at Penn, so honoring their seniors. You know, they're starting on vault. They've got that Olympic order. That's vault, bars, beam, floor. Vault is an excellent place for Penn to start. They got their 3rd highest program score in history last week, including a debut of a 10.0 start value from Olivia Van Horn. We're going to see that at the end of the lineup.
Yeah, Penn on the vault, like you said, and the Quakers 46 in the latest Road to Nationals rankings. Their vault 47 in the country. Their beam the highest score at 30. And we'll talk about the Towson Tigers, a team that has really competed highly at the national level under 4th-year head coach Jay Ramirez.
Yeah, you know, Towson and Penn really both have had really strong trajectories over the past couple seasons. Towson coming off a great meet of their own, their 8th highest in program history, set their bars record. That's where Towson is starting today, on bars, so great event for them to start on. And Penn, you know, remember, in college gymnastics, here we've got 2 Division I teams, 1 Division II team, that's Westchester, and a Division III team, that's Ursinus. They're all competing under the same code of points. They are all eligible for that NCAA postseason, but the Division II teams, they are eligible for that USAG Nationals. Ursinus eligible for the NCGA Nationals for those Division III schools. So, but you know, each team, they're really, records don't matter, remember, in NCAA gymnastics, so they're really trying to build on scores that they have from the previous week.
Ursinus top left, Towson top right, bottom left for Penn, and bottom right for Westchester. Penn starting off on the vault with Alicia Werlin, the freshman from Hillsborough, New Jersey. And the Quakers and Eagles fans one and the same here today. A lot of Go Birds paraphernalia. It actually says Go Birds on the scoreboard here at the Palestra, which I enjoyed. And 3 of the 4 schools, Philly area schools.
Absolutely, and you know, some of the coaches were wearing Phillies jerseys in the warm-up, so a lot of Philly energy. And it's the Puppy Bowl, don't forget. That's the one that I look forward to.
Yep. Puppy Ball, gymnastics, and then the big game later. But right now, the focus is on the mats where, again, Ursinus will begin on the floor. Westchester bottom right on the beam. Golden Rams of Westchester starting off with Caitlin Allen, the sophomore from Forest Hill, Maryland. On the floor, Kelsey Reese will open up for Ursinus. She's a senior from nearby Gilbertsville, Pennsylvania. And those Towson Tigers, freshman Lauren Keener from Apex, North Carolina, starting up on bars. So about ready to get going. The energy in this building, Christina, was palpable today as we were getting set for warm-ups.
Exactly, and remember, in a quad meet, you're going to have all 4 of these events going simultaneously. Lovely triple series there to open on beam. Nice work on this opening bar routine for Towson. That full pirouette into the double back. Nice start.
That's Towson just finishing up Keener on bars. Clara Hong will go next.
A nice opening full twisting Yurchenko there for Penn. That start value is a 9.95. Great control on that middle pass.
So the second gymnast starting up on the right side and bottom left.
Nice finish there on floor.
Kelsey Reese bringing the crowd to its feet early on. What did you like out of her performance?
You know, I really liked her performance quality, really strong. We talk about artistry in NCAA gymnastics. That is not just smiling all the time. That is your commitment to the routine, making eye contact, having your expressive movements match that music, and she did a nice job there.
So after Reese, it's Megan Matusi, the sophomore from New Mexico, going for Ursinus.
And Clara Hong here on bars for Towson. Really nice piked Jaeger there.
Yeah, Hong, one of the superstars on the Towson team.
Just look at this, the double front dismount. I love it. Oh, just a little step there. She can stick that, but boy, it's beautiful.
Now we're looking at the Penn Quakers.
Oh, and just opened up a little early there. I don't think she got the block. That's the rise off that table to get that vault around.
That's Rose DeBarberi. And that is Westchester. So now we're looking back at Ursinus. They're going to start up their second on the floor, Megan Matusi. That's somebody that Coach Valenti also highlighted to us, Christina. That first floor routine for Ursinus, that was fun.
Yeah, and you know, really important, again, something that Kim Valenti talked to us, starting on floor, really a fun place to start, really high energy, so a good opportunity for them to get that momentum. They are going to have to end on beam. That's been a tricky spot for them this season, but a really nice place for them to start here.
Ursinus, a lot of their scores in the 70 to 80 range on all 4, and here we go. Matusi starting up.
Nice 1.5 to punch front there. nice recovery there on vault for Penn.
That's Marissa Lassiter doing a nice job, the freshman from Waldorf, Maryland.
Lauren Green here finishing for Towson. Really nice routine there. And pretty dismount there from Westchester. It's action-packed here, folks. Really nice double back to end there. So difficult to end with those double salto passes. You do get a 10th of bonus for doing that. Really handle that double back really nicely.
So we've seen 2 floor routines from Ursinus. I believe we've seen 3 on each other event across the board. But again, 4 things happening at once, and that is the beauty and the chaos that encapsulates a quad meet.
Exactly.
And this is for Penn. Campbell Marr, junior from Newtown Square, PA, and her and her sister, McKaylee, they've been terrific for this program.
Yeah, and you know, Campbell learned, this is a new vault for her, learned this during COVID. Coach Kristen Belkoff was really excited to talk to me about it. She does a really cool full-on tuck-off. So really we'll look to see if she can get that fully rotated onto the table here. It looks like just a little judging delay.
Yeah, now with the judging delay, the energy has not left the building. The Palestra is rocking on this afternoon.
And here we go. Nice landing there.
And now you get a look at Towson working the bars.
And that's Grace Valancourt there for Towson. Really nice Jaeger. She's got such great form on this event. Let's see if she can get this double layout. Sticks it. Nice job.
A sophomore from New Hampshire gets a big hug from her coach, Jay Ramirez. And the 3rd floor routine underway for Ursinus. That's Isabella Scarpetti.
Big contributor for Ursinus here in the all-around. Nice double back there to open.
Bottom right on the beam, it's Christina Rodriguez for Westchester.
Oh, too bad. Just was off on that back handspring. Nice middle pass there on the floor.
Kirsten Belkoff starting up for Penn on the vault.
A nice height on that Yurchenko half. Nice closing pass there on floor as well.
It seems like across the board, all these teams are pretty pleased with how they've opened up here today.
Yeah, you know, just had that snafu on beam for Westchester, but apart from that, it's been a really strong start for these teams. Of course, Westchester starting on beam, that's, you know, the challenge event. No team really wants to start or end there. Better to have it in the middle. So they did have a fall there, but they also get to get that rotation out of the way and move to floor.
I believe this is Olivia Van Horn getting going for Penn here on the vault.
And Olivia Van Horn, we're going to see what the strategy is here because she has vaulted that front pike. That's a 9-9 start. She can do the front pike half, and we are getting started on bars here as well.
Yeah, on bars here for Towson. They're towards the anchor. Bella Minervini, I believe, is up.
And Pax Salto, nice job there.
So Minervini, a freshman from Fleming Island, Florida.
Oh, just came in a little close to the bar there on that dismount. And just goes with the front pike. That's what I was talking about. Wasn't sure if she was going to do that front pike half. It is a bit riskier since they had that fall earlier in the rotation. Coach Kirsten Belkoff did tell me they may play it safe, and that's exactly what they did there.
Yeah, so what do you make of that decision?
Oh, I think that's really smart. You know, they want to get those hits in, and so really that's why they set her up in that 6th position. But watch out for her when she does that front pike half. She can really open it up.
And again, this is Westchester starting off today on beam. She talked about not the easiest to start.
And just a quick correction, it was Steph Makasu that we saw there. Isabel Minervini about to mount the bar here for Towson.
So Minervini, the 6th spot in the Towson lineup. They'll have one exhibition after this.
Wow.
Daria Gregory up here.
Really nice opening pass there. Bella Minervini, such a gorgeous bar worker, really just a freshman phenom for Towson. Pretty back handspring layout step out on beam there. A little crunch there on that landing of that Rudy.
So high fives on the Quakers side. As that was Ariana Agarwala, one of the seniors today on senior day for the Quakers.
And I love that double twist punch front there. Didn't look like she just had a little crunch of the ankles there. You know, landed short on that Rudy. So hopefully that can just sting the ankles a little bit, but fought through it.
And you love to see the way her teammates were picking her up after that too, because you can see there was a little visible frustration, but her teammates were there to support her. And Naja Curtis will round out the exhibitions on vault for the Quakers. Going Olympic, it'll be bars next for the hosts. So this is back-to-back years Ursinus has been here for senior day. They had an impromptu COVID cancellation against Bridgeport last year, did the Quakers on senior day. So Ursinus on back-to-back days competed. One of those things that Kim Valenti was reminiscing on when we spoke to her on the phone the other day.
Yeah, and you know, last season was very unusual. Lots of those kind of quick turnarounds, quick pivoting. So, you know, now this season things have become to a little bit more regular cadence. But these teams see each other a lot. Obviously, 3 out of these 4 teams in the greater Pennsylvania area. I mean, the greater Philadelphia area.
Greater Pennsylvania, too. It works. Towson not too far away down in Baltimore. Here is Curtis.
Oh, and again, just didn't get that block off the table for that Yurchenko layout.
Curtis, one of those seniors from Dix Hills, New York. And I believe this is Minervini here. Oh no, we're on to the exhibition, beg your pardon. Amanda Petticelli, sophomore from Quebec, Canada, wrapping up Towson on bars. And
you know, just a little struggle there, ironically on one of her easier skills. Does that double front, just couldn't control it, but big Ray release move there. So hopefully she can hone some of those other elements throughout the routine.
Yeah, so we've wrapped up the vault, we've wrapped up the bars, beam, and floor still rounding out.
And looks like we're just having a bit of a judges conference. I think we're having a judges conference on both floor and beam. Just a reminder, if you're new to NCAA gymnastics or not used to seeing these conferences, if the judges' scores are more than 2/10 apart, they have to have a conference to see what deductions they took, come to an agreement that is within 2/10. By the way, I think it should be 1/10, but NCAA technical committee call me. But anyway, that's not the rule. The rule is 2/10. So
Beth Renwick overseeing the judges today. A nice conversation with her prior to starting off. So we touched on this a little bit, Christina. Towson Friday competed in a quad. They had their 8th highest score in program history on Friday, so they are coming in red hot.
Absolutely. They certainly are a program on the rise. When we talked to head coach Jay Ramirez, he said, you know, really a couple of years ago, the goal was just to make postseason. That was the goal. They've done that now. They competed in regionals last year. Now the goal is really how can we climb up in there and how can we start having a really solid performance, pushing that next tier of teams. So really exciting to see that. And by the way, when we talked to Penn, they said the same thing. They really want to make NCAA regionals. They would be the first team, Ivy League team, to do so as a team. I love that they're setting that bar so high.
So now we're back to floor for Ursinus.
Nice 1.5 to front layout there.
And that's Westchester on the right, wrapping up on the beam.
Nice beat to split full there. Did a good job of getting that jump all the way around. Just a little chest down on that Rudy, that final pass, but overall good job. Oh, lovely front toss there on beam for Westchester.
You mentioned beam being one of the hardest ones to start on, but Westchester actually excels at beam the most per the rankings.
Yeah, that's been a really solid event for them. They have some really pretty dance elements that we saw throughout that rotation. Just can be a bit of a nervy place to start. You know, vault or floor, you know, you're coming in, you're amped, you've got that energy. Those are really nice, good events to start on. But beam can be a little bit, you know, you got to calm yourself down.
Yeah, so getting to the back end of floor here, everything else looks to have come to a conclusion. So we're just wrapping up floor, and then that's rotation one. And a lot of excitement. What has been the biggest takeaway for you here in rotation one?
You know, I think that really Ursinus has gotten off to a strong start here on floor. Nice high energy from their routines. Penn did not have the vault rotation that they had last week, so it's going to be interesting to see how they react to that. But, you know, like I said, when I talked to Kirsten Becker, who is a Penn alum, head coach Kirsten Becker, a Penn alum herself, you know, she really is setting the bar high for this Penn team. They won the GECs last year, currently ranked #1 in the GEC, the Gymnastics East Conference. And she said that's the #1 goal for this season is to repeat as GEC champions, but that they also want to make a run at regionals. They're not quite in that scoring threshold. The scoring threshold for regionals is going to be at that 196 mark, but they're inching their way there.
Yeah, so that's Westchester wrapping up on the beam.
Oh, and just off on that back handspring layout step out.
Now we return to floor for Ursinus.
Nice cat leap aerial to recover there on beam.
This is senior Alyssa DeLorme on the floor for the Bears.
Nice recovery on beam after that fall in the series. And I really like that last combination, that Rudy to the double stag jump. A couple of places here and there with some form breaks in the floor routine, but really enjoyed the quality of that routine.
And what do you think the judges will see there?
You know, I think that one of the things that you see on floor often is where gymnasts landing with their chest low, and you really want to see the chest landing upright. Couple places in there, particularly that opening pass where the chest was low, so there will be a deduction there. Also, you're looking for 180 degrees on these split elements. And so there were a couple places in the routine that didn't quite reach there. That will be a deduction, but really difficult twisting elements in that routine.
So Sydney Schreiber due up now for Ursinus to round out their 6, and then they will have 2 exhibitions. Be mindful of that.
Nice switch side there on beam.
Yeah, Caroline Cascadin rounding out for Westchester in the exhibition. Natalie Marshall just went for them before.
And remember, these exhibitions do not count toward the team total, but really nice job through this routine. Back handspring layout step out, really solid there. Hangs on there to that aerial. A couple of hiccups throughout that routine, but really her acrobatic series, that back handspring layout step out, was the highlight for me.
Cascadin, the junior, wraps up, and Ursinus, and there they get a look at the powwow there by the judges. We've had a few of those here already, Christina. Sometimes, and you talked about it early, when the score's a certain amount apart, they do have to converse.
Yeah, that's true, and you know, I think that yeah, we have had several judges conferences already. Of course, they are sitting at different angles, so that's oftentimes, particularly on floor, when a leap is being done in front of one judge and the other judge is on the other side of the floor, they might not have caught that discrepancy. A lot of times the discrepancy will be over start value as well. Remember, these routines, if you meet the basic element requirements in a routine, which all of these athletes will do, barring, you know, mistake, that routine starts from a 9.4. You then have to work your way up to a 10.0 start value by doing either more difficult elements that are required, those D and E elements, or by doing elements in combination. So if they determine, for example, that one of the intended combinations was not actually connected, that can affect the start value.
So meanwhile, Ursinus waits here to get back to business. So apologies, we're 1 behind on Ursinus there before. Schreiber just went for them, so it's just the exhibition we're waiting on for the Bears. And Carly Troillo will be going now once they resume.
A little chest low on that double back, a difficult opening pass. Pretty double twist there. Nice layout, standing layout step out there on beam for Westchester.
So this must be the final exhibition for Westchester, I would think.
And 1.5 to front pike there. Handled that combination pass nicely.
Troillo mobbed on the mat, junior from Burlington, New Jersey, just across the river.
And our apologies, I think this is Caroline Cascadin. Exhibition we saw before was Natalie Marshall. Doing our best to keep you updated here as we've got so much going on.
Yep, I think the good news is you get better as we go. So I'd say by rotation 4, we're going to have less of those for you. But what did you think of how she did to wrap up over there?
Yeah, you know, Cascadin had that really nice standing layout step out. Nice 1.5 dismount as well. As you mentioned, Westchester, this is a good event for them. They have a lot of depth. So it's, you know, they're trying to use these exhibition spots so that if one of those athletes needs to go in the lineup later, they want to rest somebody, they're able to do that and keep those athletes fresh in the competitive environment.
And this one we're positive on. Ursinus, the final floor exhibition, Taylor Cusick, senior from Jackson, New Jersey. Action gymnastics is where she trained, and now she'll try to get the ball rolling for them to wrap up their floor.
And, you know, I love to see the level of Division II and Division III gymnastics in this country is so high, and really exciting to see these teams. You know, again, they compete with the same code of points as all of these Division I teams. Really, I hope our viewers are enjoying seeing some teams that they might not have seen before, and the level of skill that they have and the variety in some of these routines is really fun to watch.
Yeah, so just to preview what's coming up on rotation 2, Ursinus will head to vaults. The Golden Rams of Westchester will take the floor. Penn headed over to the bars, and the Towson Tigers on beam. Contingents on each side. And the interesting thing is when you are on a quad meet, there's a little more time, I would imagine, to where you're kind of waiting. It's interesting how each team decides to approach that time.
Well, and especially for the events, you know, vault and bars, and so much quicker than floor and beam. And so in those quad meets, you are left with a lot of kind of Towson and Penn have been waiting for a while. So you can see some of those athletes just trying to keep themselves loose for that next event.
Ursinus wraps up on floor here with Cusick.
Oh, and just overcooks that double pike a little bit, but nice in the air. Good control there on that 1.5 to front layout. Josh, and this is what I was talking about with the level of difficulty. 2 double salto passes in that routine. Really, she just needs to work on those landings because both of them were nice in the air. Just needs a little bit more time honing those landings. When you go out of bounds, it is a mandatory 1/10 deduction, and had out of bounds on both those double salto passes. But that is having those 2 double salto passes on par with the level of difficulty we're seeing in a lot of Division I programs.
So you're seeing some Bears fans cheering them on, and that was an end to their floor routine. So I think we step aside here, and we'll come right back. Rotation 2 is on tap from the Palestra on ESPN+. Palestra, rotation 2 here. Sam Cooperman, Christina Chauvenet with you for some Sunday afternoon quad meet gymnastics. And those are the scores after one rotation. The Towson Tigers with a healthy lead of over 1-3 over the rest of the group.
Yeah, as we discussed, Towson, one of the top 15 teams in the country on bars, did not quite match their 49.475 that they set a couple days ago, but still super strong score there. And, a couple of other, Westchester, not as strong as we've seen them on beam other times. They had some falls in there. So now it's really going to be a challenge for them to move to floor and, get some of that energy back because we've still got a lot of gymnastics left.
Yeah, my math wasn't proper there, so I'm going to apologize for that off the jump. Penn 5.75 behind Towson in second. Ursinus taken in third after their floor routine.
And Ursinus,
yeah.
They're season high there. So, we saw some really good energy from Ursinus there. As I mentioned, a lot of those double salto passes. So really great for them. As I mentioned, records don't count in gymnastics. So it's all about beating the score that you set that week, last week, climbing up the rankings.
Yeah, competing against yourself in a sense. And now Westchester taking the floor here, and that's Towson over on the beam. And this Towson Tigers team, we talked about their meteoric rise. How do you think they fared this year on the beam?
Beam has not been their strongest event so far this season. And so, I got a chance to talk to associate head coach Ashley Blair, who is the primary beam coach. Just said, we haven't had a lot of falls, but just have some jitters, have some of those mistakes. So they're really trying. They haven't quite hit their groove there. I think with Penn moving to bars, they had some minor struggles there last week. So this is an event that they can really improve on and really try and push that 49 threshold.
Yeah, this is a team that last year hovering around 196.3. This year they're looking for 196.5, and they want that average above that, this Towson team does. Talking about the Tigers here, but Penn, we mentioned them before, and the Quakers there in the Blue Leos. It's good that you don't have any of the teams with color schemes that are pretty similar. Everybody's got their own distinct look here this afternoon.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, as I mentioned, Penn, they want to qualify for the regional championships. Talk to Kirsten Becker. I love the ambition that she has for this program, and they really moving from 190. They've been scoring 195 the last meet. They got a 195 to moving towards that 196 is just picking up a half-tenth here or there.
Yeah, well, we're going to step aside, and then we'll come right back. Rotation 2 up next on ESPN+. All the talk of the town today, go Birds, and big game starting up in a few hours, but right now the talk of the town, gymnastics. Penn hosting today's quad here at the Palestra. 3 Philly area teams, and they're the Quakers starting off their second rotation on bars.
And we talked just before the break about Ursinus and how well they did. That is their 3rd highest floor score in program history. So congratulations to them. Just a wonderful start. Now it's going to be, they got to continue that momentum on vault.
Yeah, we saw a lot of fun stuff from the Bears on the floor. On a personal level, I think the musical choice was excellent. I think they brought that energy, and we'll see if Westchester can continue that energy on the floor, because ultimately that's the center of things. That's probably, I would imagine, draws the most eyeballs, and that certainly brings the crowd to its feet.
Yeah, and Westchester has a lot of those double salto passes as well. Has some really good difficulty here, so will be exciting to watch them.
Kylie Fred will start off on floor for Westchester. She's a junior from Highland Mill, New York. Ursinus going to vault. Megan Matusi, sophomore from New Mexico, will open up there. Penn on bars with Sarah Kennefic. And beam Lauren Bolin for Towson.
Nice double pike there to open.
Towson on the right of your screen.
Rock solid back handspring layout step out there to open. That's the kind of start that Towson wanted. Nice vault for Ursinus there.
And on the right, on bars.
Such a cool double twisting flyaway there. A couple form breaks in that routine, but overall nice start.
Penn opening up on bars with Kennefic. And Westchester completing its first trip to the floor here. Kylie Fred, that junior, and now Caroline Cascadin, another junior, will pick right up.
And really nice start on floor, opened with a really powerful tumbling run, really well-controlled double pike.
Some fitting music in between, Rihanna performing later.
And Clara Hong here, she's such a treat on beam. Really pretty toe point. She is competing in 3 events, but little spoiler alert, head coach Jay Ramirez told me she's training vault. She's got a front pike half she's training. He wants to get her in all around so that she can have a shot at competing in the NCAA regionals. Just not quite ready yet, but I'm excited to see that later in the season.
Are you a fan of spoilers in general? Like, are you going to spoil a show for a friend kind of thing? Or?
Well, you know, I want to give the NCAA fans just a hint of the upgrades that are in the tank, you know, so just to get them excited.
Well, there is Hong.
Oh, and just, again, when I say they did not get the block, I mean, they did not get, there's a moniker that is you want to go straight up from the table, flip then twist if you're doing a twist. Didn't quite get that there.
That was Scarpetti for Ursinus.
Hangs on to that double back. Couple small checks in that routine for Clara Hong, but she's gorgeous to watch there. Pretty Jaeger release move there on bars.
And the Davies for Penn. Our team likes it.
Yeah, just a couple of form breaks here and there throughout the routine. A nice fight through that routine. Couple of places that she came in a little bit shy, but really worked to minimize the deduction. And I enjoy seeing that when athletes are fighting to, you know, fight for every 10th.
All smiles from Caroline Cascadin. And Alacia, freshman from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, will follow her. There's a look at Ursinus. Ashley Cromer on vault.
Nice Yurchenko layout there, and she is one of the athletes that is training a Yurchenko half. That layout starts from a 9.75, so that's the maximum score that vault can have. If she's able to do the full twist, add the full twist to that, that'll up that start value to 9.95.
Cassidy Stewart here, sophomore for Towson. Taking a look at Penn on the left side of your screen. Marissa Lassester.
Caught a little close there, but keeps going. Nice back handspring layout step out. This is the best I've seen Towson look on beam all season so far. And a big full twisting double back there off bars. Love to see those difficult dismounts.
Bars, Penn's weakest spot in the rankings thus far. But a nice finish there.
Just shy on that opening pass on floor, but nice vault for Ursinus.
I believe Alex Panetta just finished up for Ursinus.
Good control of that Rudy there to end.
Anna Lacey for Westchester.
And you know, struggled on her opening pass, was going for that really difficult front double full, but really good fight after that. I really liked her at Rudy.
Kristen Kuhn working the bars for Penn.
And another nicely controlled Yurchenko layout for Ursinus.
Taylor Kusick.
Wow, rocks that full twisting double back and had that big Tkachev in there. Really strong routine for Penn.
Look at Towson on the beam area they've been most concerned with this year, but showing improvement.
Such a difficult series there. That switch split layout step out into the beat jump for Jenna Wheats. I love to see that.
Yeah, Wheats the fourth in the rotation for Towson. Sarah Giroux will follow her up.
Oh, and works through that correction on the back handspring layout step out. Nice recovery, that stick on the gainer full.
And you hear the music starting. Christina Rodriguez, the sophomore for Westchester.
And she is really lovely to watch on floor. Nice double pike to open there.
That's her sinus working there, you saw for a moment.
Nice work from Penn on this bar routine. Nice double layout.
Carly Oniki.
And nice to see her recover. She did struggle, hit her feet on the bar last week, and that's a mandatory 2-tenth deduction. So really nice to see her recover there, because she has lovely lines on bars. Just a little under there on that closing double back. But overall, nice routine on floor.
That was Rodriguez right in the middle of the Westchester floor on rotation 2 here today from the Palestra. Towson on the beam. Stephanie Makasu for the Tigers.
Really nice control of that series. And strong vault for Ursinus as well in that exhibition spot.
Ursinus with Valentina Hurtado, freshman, getting some exhibition work.
And Sydney Schreiber in that 6th spot didn't quite get her full twisting her Chenk around, but I like to see her going for that difficulty. One and a half twist, nice landing there for Towson. They are psyched.
Yeah, I believe that was Sarah Giroux working there for Towson. So you just talked about her performance. And now we look at Penn continuing its work on the bars.
And McKaylee Marr, just beautiful to watch here. Look at this. Maloney, tiny leg separation. Bail handstand. You know, I've seen her be a little bit crisper on bars, but really love her toe point on that event. And we'll see that again on beam.
Anchors the bars, and she'll anchor beam up next for Penn. They have a couple exhibitions, and Westchester continuing. Last exhibition for Ursinus on your right.
Wow, great double pike to open on floor.
Rose Fornara on floor, 5th year from Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Wow, such a great routine for Rose Fanara there. You know, one of the athletes that Barbara Cordova flagged to us when we spoke with her before the meet about 5th-year senior and the leadership that she's providing this team, and great control of those tumbling passes.
Well, Cordova's seen a lot of great gymnasts, coached 11 All-Americans and a national champ in her 15 years. Towson on beam on the right, bars on the left for Penn.
And Steph Makasu here for Towson on beam. Difficult switch half, split C-sewn. I love that combination.
She's in the 6th spot for the Tigers.
Oh, under-rotated there.
Back to floor for Westchester. McKenna Kissinger.
Oh, I love the combination of the twisting, the 1.5 to that layout step out. Wow, really nice. You know, talked about that Rose Fanara being that super senior leadership. Kissinger also a super senior and just has such lovely twisting form on floor.
Penn with an exhibition here on bars. Zara Gazdak wrapping up for the Quakers.
And nice to Tkachev to open there. Toe on, full, into the double back. Pretty work there.
Gazdak, a sophomore from New York City. So we have a couple exhibitions coming up for Westchester on floor, and Towson, I believe, is coming up on its final exhibition on beam. Lauren Keener should be taking that for them. Judges consult, so we'll have those scores after the rotation 2 break, but right now we're going to get going here. So.
Nice double pike to open.
It's Lily McFarland, a junior. Towson wrapping up with Lauren Keener on beam in the exhibition on the right.
Lily McFarland, nice job there. Minor detail, but I really like how she maintains her toe point throughout her choreography.
She's listed as a beam specialist, but certainly there has to be a lot to like with what she did on the floor there.
Absolutely, and you know, when people are listed as specialists, they're often training other events and maybe just haven't broken into the lineup, so good to see her making her way in there because she's got some difficult tumbling.
Caitlin Allen will be the last to work in the floor exhibition. And Towson wraps up on beam that time with the freshman Keener.
Yeah, nice to see them end that rotation on a high note. Too bad about Steph Makasu in that anchor spot because she can be so beautiful there, but just had that break. So, you know, overall, they had some really nice routines at the start of that lineup. Remember, 6 up, 5 count, so you can drop that lowest score.
There, the Westchester Golden Rams. They'll go to vault after this. Caitlin Allen will round them out. The host, the Penn Quakers, in the blue Leos. Just saw them for a moment. And here's Allen.
Great control of that half twist to the front full. couple, actually the dance elements I think were the biggest room for deduction in that. A couple of them that she just didn't quite get the full rotation around, but nice tumbling there. Her combination pass was a highlight for me.
Well, that caps off rotation 2. Next, it's the vault for the Golden Rams. It's the bars for the Ursinus Bears. For Penn, it will be the beam, and for Towson, the floor. Coming right back on ESPN Plus after this. Back inside the Palestra. After rotation 2, we're going to look at our updated scores. Penn, Ursinus, Towson, and Westchester taking the floor, the bars, the beam, and the vaults. And Towson out in front of, and they've built up a nice cushion here, Christina. And we expected the Tigers to have, just based on the scores they've already accumulated this year, we knew what to expect from them, and they've lived up to the bill so far.
Absolutely, and you know, they really, again, not quite in their rhythm on beam, but they did not have to count a fall, and moving through that, they're still on 196 pace.
Individually so far, we're halfway done here. Is there a performance or two that's really stood out to you individually?
You know, I think that it's always really lovely to see how seeing Ursinus as a whole rotation on floor getting their season high and one of their program bests. That was really lovely to see. Clara Hong on bars, lovely, as well as Grace Valancourt on bars getting her career high 9.95.
Well, we're going to step aside, and when we come back, we have some highlights for you. Stay tuned right here on ESPN Plus. Back at the Palestra, we've seen a lot of great gymnastics through 2 rotations. And we're getting a look at the Ursinus Bears there on the vault before. And Christina, as we go, tell us what stands out to you as you see it.
Yeah, you know, and Ursinus did not have their strongest rotation on vault, so they're going to have to really rally in this next rotation. Pretty double twist here from Sarah Kenefick. I love that. You normally see the double backs, double layouts. Great to see those twisting elements there. And Clara Hong here, so pretty. Aerial, unique acrobatic series in NCAA.
And Clara Hong, one of the many Towson Tigers who has shown up in a big way this year. And Westchester just wrapped up on floor. We saw some good stuff out of them too.
Absolutely. I really like their level of difficulty and their performance quality on floor as well.
So after 2 rotations, Towson, the team score in front, but we're seeing individually and team-wise some best here this afternoon, and now we get set in about 30 seconds to start rotation 3.
And you know, I have to also say I really enjoyed for Westchester Rose Finara, one of those super seniors, getting a 9.825, her season high, and really great performance there.
And Ursinus right there on the vault. You know, we really harped on what Ursinus did on the floor, but what did you think of their vault overall? You
know, it wasn't as strong as some of their other performances this season, so now they're going to have to move to bars and, you know, kind of pick up that momentum. Bars is, when I talked to Coach Kim Valenti, she did say bars is one of the challenging events for her team and a lot of the other Division III teams in terms of building up to that 10.0 start value. As I said earlier, remember, you have to, in order to get that 10.0 start value, you have to build your difficulty there through doing college gymnastics. The skills are ranked. A is the easiest, E are the most difficult, so you get bonus tenths for doing those D and E elements or for doing elements in combination. And there's also some up to the level requirements on bars, bars and on all the events, and that can be challenging for the dismounts.
And Westchester gets us underway on vault. Caitlin Allen.
Nice full twisting Yurchenko in the tuck position. The tucked Yurchenko full starts from a 9.9 as opposed to that laid out Yurchenko full, which starts from the 9.95. But good control there. She had nice chest up on landing.
Penn working the beam here. Quakers opening up with Kirsten Belkoff.
And she's so, Penn has a great beam rotation, their strongest event this season, and I really enjoy watching them on beam. Oh, I jinxed her. Really difficult triple series there. That back handspring, layout, step out.
Broadcaster's jinx is a real thing.
Pretty sheep jump there, though.
That's Clara Hong. We talked a lot about her. She'll start off the floor for Towson.
And I really like that twisting vault. You don't see that very often.
That was McKenna Kissinger on vault.
So pretty, that front double full. Just didn't quite control the landing. Nice control of that whip half to front full. I've seen her control that front double full better, but she's so pretty in the air. Her attention to detail, her twisting form is really lovely.
And we turn our attention back to Penn, working on the beam.
A nice tucked full there for Westchester on vault.
And Penn with Alyssa Rosen over there.
Nice back handspring layout step out there. I believe that was Christina Rodriguez for Westchester on vault.
Yeah, Rodriguez going third for them. Seeing her in the all-around.
And just overcooked that punch front there. Couldn't hang on to it.
On rotation 3 here at the Palestra.
And this is a tricky situation for Penn because they did have a fall in that leadoff spot, so they are going to have to count one of these falls towards their team score.
And that Tiger Roar signifies the floor continues. Polina Belanovsky, freshman from Wisconsin.
Nice recovery on beam.
Westchester on vault, bottom left.
Nice Yurchenko layout there for Westchester.
That was Lily McFarland, the junior.
And that round off layout step out's her backward tumbling element because she really prefers front tumbling. And had just a little bit of control problems in her tumbling, but ended with that really nice switch side to two popas. Pretty performance quality there on floor.
Jay Ramirez, her coach, letting out a little whistle at the end of that. He was a fan. So we're looking at Westchester here. Kaya Johnson, senior from Philly.
And Nice Yurchenko full. She tied the program high 9.85 a couple weeks ago. Really is one of those athletes that's getting that block that I keep talking about off the table. Does a nice job there.
Sarah Kenefick on the beam for the Penn Quakers.
This is just not Penn's day on beam, unfortunately. They are capable of being really lovely here.
30 in the nation for Road to Nationals.
Nice stretch through that jump series.
On floor, it's Paige Casper, junior out of Carmel, Indiana. First time we've seen her today.
Nice double pike there.
Sarah Eskew rounding out the vault for Westchester.
Some low chest on that landing on vault, but nice to see that variety in their vault lineup.
Music fakes you out a little bit, doesn't it?
Nails the landing of that double back. Really nice control of her tumbling passes, which is an area she has struggled throughout this season, but excellent job there.
Jay Ramirez lets out another whistle. Must be going well on the floor. Paige Casper for Towson.
And I will say, Jay Ramirez certainly not lacking energy.
No,
he
no.
is hype for his gymnast. I love to see it. Love this mount on beam.
Campbell Moore, one of her many strengths. Oh, Kristen Kuhn, beg your pardon. So the fifth Quaker to go here is Kuhn.
And such an important routine for Penn because they have had a couple falls prior. Nice double back there on bars for Ursinus.
And we start up the fourth on floor for Towson. Grace Valancourt, the sophomore.
And following up a big 9.925 from Paige Casper. Oh, she put that into the rafters. Hop on that dismount, but nice job overall on beam. There's a little bit too much power there on her jump. But Towson is rolling on floor for sure. Grace Valancourt there. Just having a great day coming off that 9.925 on, or 9.95, excuse me, on bars.
You can just kind of look at McKaylee Moore, set to go for Penn on the beam. And the fifth Tiger to take the floor for Towson coming up next. That's Bella Minervini. Now looking at Ursinus operating on bars.
And does one of those single bar releases, the Jaeger. Nice double back there.
Tigers back to the floor here. See what Minervini's got cooking.
Just bounces out of that Rudy a little bit.
There's McKaylee Marr to the right of your screen.
Oh, and off on that back handspring layout step up and hangs on to it. And like I said, this is, unfortunately, it's just been a challenging rotation for Penn.
So there's Marr again. Ursinus finishing up on bars.
Another one of those single bar releases, the Jaegers. Coach Valenti told me she's really working her athletes, trying to work more of those into the lineup, so good to see. Double back there. Step on the landing, but nicely controlled.
Tigers back to the floor.
And Amy Stewart here for Towson.
Junior from Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
And she's so powerful here. Great control of that front layout to Rudy. McKaylee Marr up here for Penn. Just before her was sister Campbell Marr. And, you know, Stewart just under-rotated that double back, but she's a pro, handled it, no problem.
So like Penn going with a late alteration in the order there, but you talk about Marr on the beam, and we know what those sisters can do.
And both have really exquisite lines on this event. Pitch kick into aerial, super solid there. And you know, she is a senior using her 5th year of eligibility to go to the University of Michigan, who's currently ranked in the top 5 in NCAA. So really speaks to the rise of the Penn program. I certainly expect her to contribute to the Michigan beam lineup that have actually been struggling this season. So, you know, that's a really exciting thing for Penn gymnastics.
And one of the 7 Penn seniors here on Senior Day, honored prior to the start.
And just kind of sold that salute. It wasn't a complete stick, but nice to see them end on a high note.
Back to the bars for the Ursinus Bears.
And going for that difficult Ray release move, that's that toe-on variation of the Tkachev, but just couldn't quite get it there.
And more arousing applause. And now they're also applauding for the score over here on the Towson floor.
Yeah, it looks like a 9-9 for Amy Stewart there. Working well through the rest of this bar routine.
And this is Jenna Wheats on floor in exhibition.
Finesse there of that back handspring layout, step out on beam.
Ariana Agarwala, one of the Penn seniors in the exhibition.
And just a great floor rotation for Towson from top to bottom. Agarwala here set for her dismount. Nice gainer pike. Yeah, you know that, unfortunately, Penn is going to have to count some falls there, so it's not going to be some of the performances that we have seen, but great to see McKaylee Marr in that anchor spot, you know, turning around the momentum, and of course Agarwala in her senior day as well.
So Ursinus wrapping up there over on the bars. They'll head to the beam after this when we go to the 4th rotation. Tell you what, the first one went so slowly with a few of the judging stoppages, but then we've really ramped up the pace here.
Agree. Nice ginger there. Some leg separation, but good height on it. That full pirouette into the double back. Nice landing there. Again, really like that ginger release and one of those dismounts that does meet the up to the level requirements on bars.
So the Ursinus Bears finish up. Looks like they may have had some tweaks there at the end in the lineup. I think that led to things wrapping up a little slower over there, and there are the judges chatting. Reminder, Beth Renwick, national level judge, is leading the crew as the meet ref. And the fans loving it. Still says go Birds on the board, and there's Jay Ramirez on looking here. So, Christina, with where we are now, wrapping up rotation 3, what are your biggest takeaways from what we just seen in this rotation?
You know, I think that as we move into this final rotation, Towson is probably going to be the happiest of these teams with how they've performed relative to their maximum scoring capacity. They're just coming off a massive floor rotation. And, you know, Westchester, I really like that. I talked to Barbara Cordova, head coach, about the upgrades that they'd made, really pushing a lot of those vaults into that 9-9 and upwards value. So that's really strong for them. Of course, Penn going to be disappointed in how they performed, having to count some falls. So now it's a challenge. They got to move to floor and recapture some of that energy. Ursinus really working their way towards some more difficulty on bars. I've been enjoying to see it. Hasn't gone perfectly for them. Another a nice game. Jaeger didn't quite make that connection there, but good to see them going for that difficulty.
Rebecca Lashley rounding out the Penn group on the beam. Lashley, one of the seniors. Exhibition concludes with her.
Combination there, that beat jump into aerial. Nice to see those, the exhibition spots actually had some of the stronger routines in the lineup because they did have the challenges there. Again, they got to swing that momentum. They're moving to floor, which is a high energy place to end in front of their home crowd.
Yeah, nice way to cap it off for the Quakers. Ursinus' group still hanging around over there at the bars. I think they might have another exhibition. It feels like they've been going on for a while. I'm not sure what is up over there.
Well, I think there have just been some judging conferences is what's taking a little bit longer on bars. And again, probably mostly related to start values.
So Penn will conclude the day on the floor. The Quakers already moving over, getting loose. And Ursinus wrapping up its group over there.
Little struggle to get up to the handstand there, but hangs on to that. Maloney makes that connection. You can see her teammates are hype about that one. Yeah, just lost some momentum there going into that, preparing for her dismount, coming up to the handstand. You could see she was short, so is going to have to chalk up and finish her dismount there.
So looking ahead, rotation 4 coming up, Christina. Beam for Ursinus, they'll wrap up over there. Penn on the floor. Now, when you have the home team getting to finish on the floor as they do, what does that bring to the crowd, and what are you looking forward to seeing from the Quakers?
Well, floor hasn't been their best event this season, so like I said, it's going to be a challenge here, and I believe this is Taylor Kusick here in exhibition. See if she can get this dismount. Cool. Oh gosh, just didn't have enough momentum, but I love seeing that toe on dismount. It was a little bit of a throwback, was more popular in the 80s and 90s, but just some endurance issues there on bars.
That's a lot of face paint. That is a lot of face paint.
And the Towson fans are really hype as they moved, as they were moving from floor, having a great rotation there.
So I think, yeah, go ahead.
No, just Penn, getting themselves together, having a little huddle there, trying to reset for floor.
Yeah, well, I think we're about ready for rotation 4, so we'll step aside as the Quakers take the floor and everybody takes on their last event. You're watching Gymnastics Today on ESPN. Back inside the Palestra, touch warm-ups after 3, and there are your scores. And Towson, a healthy lead. We knew what this Tigers program could do, Christina, and they've certainly lived up to it, and we've seen some good things from Westchester, Ursinus, and Penn as well.
Absolutely, and Towson getting their 7th best program score on floor. Just absolutely rocked the house. Shout out to Drew Porsche, Talent Stats on Twitter. Could not do this without him. And of course, Allison Freeman, all the great people at College Gym News. Really appreciate all the resources they provide. But yeah, Towson coming off, and Ursinus also matched their season high on bars. As I mentioned, some of those release moves moving towards getting those single bar releases. Alex Panetta, 9.65 there, a high for them. So really strong there. Westchester's been a little bit stronger on vault. I have seen them stronger there, but they had some really nice vaults as well. Penn moving from what traditionally is one of their stronger events, where they struggled, but they do have the energy of the whole team finishing on floor. So it's an opportunity for them to finish this meet on a high note.
And there's Towson. They will wrap up over there on the vault. And Ursinus on beam for the Bears. So we'll step aside. We'll come back and give you the conclusion of today's quad meet inside the Palestra here on ESPN+.
My name's Annie Bar.
We are back at the Palestra and rotation 4. And the Westchester Golden Rams certainly gave us some good stuff over there on the vault.
Yeah, and you saw there at the top, Christina Rodriguez is tucked full, really nice. Penn, again, just struggled on beam, had to count some falls in there. So looking to turn that around on floor.
Yeah, you saw Jay Ramirez talking to his Towson Tigers. They rock the floor.
Yeah, and they're such a powerful team, and they have really, see Amy Stewart there, just such a powerhouse for them. Ursinus got their season high on bars as well, and working, some form breaks throughout the rotation. You see there on that transition to low bar, but had pretty good control of their dismounts and getting some more of those D level releases.
So we're 3/4 of the way through, and now it's Ursinus. And as you see what they were wrapping up there on bars, they're going to take over on beam. We got Westchester wrapping up on bars. Penn will conclude on the floor, and that means Towson will take care of the vault.
And this is going to be an interesting, for Ursinus, they have struggled on beam this season. One of the things that I talked to Kim Valenti about before the meet, but they have some really cool, unique acrobatic series, some nice dance elements. So it's an opportunity for them to take that momentum from bars and build on it. For Towson, this event's it's not their strongest. I actually talked to head coach Jay Ramirez. They do not have a hard landing for vault in their gym. So that's a challenge for them in terms of controlling those landings. But they have a lot of athletes. We're going to see a lineup full of Yurchenko fulls. They have a lot of athletes that get a really nice block off the table.
Well, there's Ursinus. Kim Valenti, one last chat with her team. Isabella Scarpetti will start them off. Penn on floor here begins with Kirsten Belkoff. Towson on vault. Jenna Wheats will open up. And to begin for Westchester on bars, it's Hyla Betts.
And I think for Westchester, one of the keys will be to watch the handstand positions. Remember, on bars, we're really looking for those athletes to be right on top of the bar in handstand. And so that's an area where every time you're short of handstand, the judges should be going pen to paper. And so that's an area for them. But they have some really nice routines, particularly towards the end of the lineup.
So Westchester starting on bars there, and Towson cheering over on vault. Check in on them in a moment.
And had a full twisting Yurchenko there for Jenna Weeds, but nice opening routine for Westchester on bars.
Yeah, that was Hyla Betts Jr. from Shannock, Rhode Island. And Penn starting up its floor. right side of your screen, it's Beam and Isabella Scarpetti for Ursinus.
Hangs on to that acrobatic series. Kirsten Belkoff leading off for Penn here.
Towson on vault. Nice work from Adriana Hoffman.
And nice full twisting Yurchenko there. Again, not quite that stick, but good in the air. Really nice start for Penn on floor. That first routine, oh gosh, just not the routine that Ursinus wanted, unfortunately, to start there.
Christina Rodriguez operates on bars for Westchester.
And she's just such a rock star for them, working really well through this routine. I love her toe point, not just on this event, but on all the events. Gearing up here, full twisting, double back. Little chest low on landing, had to take that step, but love to see that difficulty.
So Westchester right there on the team score with Penn. They've really come out. They've showed out pretty well, it seems, today.
Yeah, they are really building, you know, have some really nice single bar work, those E-level releases. Mia Davis here for Towson. She can put this full twisting Yurchenko into the rafters, capable of doing that 1.5, but not going to see it today. And you see what I mean, that chest position on landing. I mean, I hope that Jay Ramirez is getting his cardio in today, the amount that he is jumping for his gymnasts.
I think if Jay Ramirez woke me up in the morning, I would get off to such a better start today. Just the hype guy. The hype guy, you need him in your corner.
Exactly. But yeah, Mia Davis, so powerful there, and really gets that height off the table that we want to see.
So Westchester here on bars. That's Samantha Kelly. She's a senior from Mullica Hill, New Jersey. And floor routine number 2 for the Quakers, Carly Oniki.
Both routines off to a nice start here. I love that straddle back on bars.
Lauren Bolin for Towson.
Does stick that landing, but just a little chest low, but all overall nice roll. Wonderful control of those tumbling passes for Oniki. Good to see there.
Casey Reese on the beam for Ursinus. And Towson continues on the left on the vault. Cami Vitoff, junior from Phoenix, Arizona.
Just a little stutter step there on that Yurchenko full, but she's actually capable of doing the 1.5, so we'll see if we see that later this season. But I'm enjoying this beam work for Ursinus. Aerial there, nicely done.
Gracie from right here in Gilbertsville, PA.
sticks that gainer full. Good for her.
Back to Westchester on bars.
That difficult combination, the full pirouette into Tkachev. Double layout, couple form issues throughout that routine, some short handstands and some shape in the double layout, but a lot of difficulty in that routine. And good height on her Tkachev.
Lauren Wicker was there for Westchester, taking care of the bars. Now we look at Towson on vault. Polina Velinovsky, a freshman.
Wow. You know, I wish she had just sunk into that stick a little bit more, but nice job.
Back to the floor here with the Penn Quakers. Emma Davies.
I did not see a flag go up for that double pike, though she was close to the edge there. Goes to that difficult pike jump on beam. Nice ginger on bars as well. So much great gymnastics in this quad box.
Exhibition for Towson on vault to wrap it up. That's Felicia Poblete.
Penn getting their momentum back on floor. Nice double layout for Westchester there as well. That full turn, one of those requirements, she overturned that a bit on beam.
So for Westchester, they just had Sarah Eskew. We'll see, I think Eskew's actually gonna go now. So they're closing in on the end of their bars.
And 1.5 twist dismount there for Ursinus, nicely done. You see a lot more of those round off 1.5s this season because of changes that were made. You are no longer allowed to dismount with a B, and so those round off 1.5s and double twists are getting a lot more popular. I think that's a good change in college gymnastics.
So this is Jordan Coleman. She will go the 6th spot, anchoring the bars for the Golden Rams. How have they looked on the bars to you?
Yeah, I think that they have been doing really well. I have been impressed with the dismounts. They've had nice chest positions on dismounts overall. Sarah Kennefic getting started here for Penn on floor.
She's the 4th Quaker to go.
Nice Jaeger overshoot combination on bars. Really nice dismount on bars. Kennefic just under rotated that opening pass, but handled it. Wolf turn there on beam. with that front double full, really difficult to do, and she handled that nicely. Couple little places in that routine that needed attention, but overall strong. And too bad to see that fall on beam for Ursinus.
So we've closed up shop on vault for the day. Westchester on the exhibitions on bars.
Pretty pirouetting work there. Would like to see some more height on that Tkachev. And I believe this is Lily McFarland for Ursinus. Sinks into that nice double back. And so cool, that gainer front layout. Unfortunately, she did have a fall in that routine, but lots of potential there.
So back to Penn on floor. Marissa Lassiter. After her, it's Olivia Van Horn in the 6th spot.
You don't see that combination very often. Handled it really well.
Lassiter, just a freshman.
Nice high double pike there. Her teammates are stoked about that one. She's such a powerful gymnast on floor, really nice. And my apologies, that was Sydney Schreiber on beam for Ursinus. You see there's a judging conference going on there.
Yeah, so Schreiber was the first exhibition for the Bears on beam, so they'll have Maylee Ricky after her to round out the order, unless something got moved around. So actually, they do move Schreiber to the 4th spot. So we'll get word on that as we go. Looking back on the floor here for Penn. They're 6th and final floor gymnast today, Olivia Van Horn. Then they'll go with a couple exhibitions after for senior day. A couple seniors will get their work in. But what are you looking forward to seeing out of Van Horn?
She's so powerful and did struggle on her opening pass last week. So that's going to be an area where we're gonna hope to see her regain her momentum there. Does a really difficult double front.
Yeah, that's Lindsay Thornton for Ursinus.
This is one of those cool combinations I was talking about. The front handspring into back tuck. I don't think anybody else is doing that in NCAA. Let me know on Twitter, Gymternet, if you know of anybody else doing that. And handles that double front, very powerful. Nice recovery on that dismount. Too bad. you know, Lindsay Thornton there for Ursinus has some pretty combinations in there. Just wasn't quite her day on beam. Nice to see Penn coming back, particularly Van Horn, as I mentioned, struggled with that double front, but she shows the same power on floor as she does on vault, and great to see her come back with a strong routine.
Oh, that's not what
she
meant to do.
That's, you know, sometimes gymnasts are known for being very coordinated on the equipment, not necessarily off the equipment, so fouled her teammate there, accidental smack in the face, but it's all good because it's an excitement.
She got full palm.
Exactly.
I mean, that was perfect. But Van Horn nailed the routine, and Ariana Agarwala, the senior, getting a pep talk, and she'll rock her routine here with all eyes on her. Still have a few more exhibitions, but looks like the scoring's about to have concluded. We'll double check if Ursinus has one more there over on the beam. I don't know if this is Delorme here, if she's gone yet. I think this might be Alyssa Delorme rounding out the...
I believe this is our final scoring routine.
Yes.
And this is a fun routine. This is one I've been looking forward to. That cat leap into front toss. Good control there. Oh, good for her. Good fight.
Senior out of Clayton, North Carolina is Delorme. And Agarwala gets started on floor.
And check out this combination. Switch into the pike. Love that. Great control of that double pike on floor.
Senior out of Edison, New Jersey. Her family here for senior day.
One and a half. Nice job there on beam to wrap up for Ursinus. Yeah, Delorme, some really nice qualities, particularly in her dance. And Agarwala having a wonderful routine as well. Lovely routine. Congratulations on her senior night. Great to see her exhibitioning.
So one more exhibition on floor coming up for Penn. Ursinus will go with its exhibition on bars. Or on beam, beg your pardon. That's Rebecca Lashley getting loosened up for Penn. It's going to be a great feeling to get to go out here on your senior day and be the last one to go. Everything else around you done, so everybody just looking at you, seeing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And we talked about Ursinus finishing up there on the beam. Team that's coming off a high last week, and we saw a really strong start for them on floor today.
Hangs on to that back handspring layout, step out. Pretty Rudy. front layout there. Nicely controlled. Good recovery, that gainer layout, dismount. Just some challenges throughout that routine on beam.
The embrace of Lashley for the Quakers.
Yeah, and it's just, it's always an emotional moment for the team on senior day. They do have another meet at home. They will compete against New Hampshire at the beginning of March. So, but great to see really the momentum of Penn turn around in that last rotation.
Yeah, so look to be, are there any other Ursinus exhibitions, or is that?
I think that they have completed their rotation. And, I want to say, something I talked to Kim Valenti about is they haven't gotten consistent yet on beam. And we saw some of that today, some falls, some inconsistency. But I want to commend them. I love the variety in their lineup, beautiful dance throughout that routine, and some unique acrobatic combinations. So just need to work on that consistency.
Yeah, so I think we'll get a look at the final scores when we have those, and looking ahead at at all four of these teams, I should say. What are some of the things you're looking forward to seeing out of them, Christina, as the season rolls along?
Well, I think that for Towson, they got a 196.45. Huge score. That's what Jay Ramirez wants to continue to push their team into those mid and high 196s. And so that is one of their top 10 program scores in history for Towson. So really strong meet for them. Westchester, they got a 193. That is in the scoring range that they wanted to be in. They had a couple of hiccups here and there. They can really push a little bit higher in that scoring range, but liked the difficulty that they went for, particularly on bars. Penn, it wasn't Penn's day, to be honest, particularly having to count those falls on beam. So that's an area, I think that really they are so strong on beam, they're going to bounce back from that. Ursinus, not the meet that they've had in the last couple meets. They want to push more towards that 190, but there were some real highlights throughout their floor in particular.
Yeah, and we're looking at those highlights right here. A lot happened today, 4 teams, and a lot of fun inside the Palestra here in the city of brotherly love. The big event of the day has come and gone, and we do appreciate you joining us. A whole crew makes this possible. Big thanks to everybody involved making this one, led by Tiana Brown and everybody making this possible here today. For Christina Chauvenet, my name is Sam Cooperman saying so long from the Palestra, where the final Towson gets the win. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.